Hi, wonderful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Türkey, and this is actually my first video of the year, and I'm so delighted to share it with you. Of course, guys, we are going to be, starting this year with a testimony. This testimony has been a long time coming, and it's an unforgettable moment of my life that I will never forget in a hurry, and I feel like sharing it with you guys. Okay, and I hope you guys find value in this particular video, because this particular video is targeted in inspiring someone. I wish to inspire someone with this particular video, for people who actually believe in God for something, one thing or the other. Okay, that you should keep trusting in God. Let me just go straight into today's video, because I don't want this video to be a long one, but then I really want to get to catch all the gist in this video. Okay, make sure you are taking note of everything. And before I travel to Turkey, my husband has been in Turkey for like over 5 years before I later joined him. So the visa came, and it was a surprise for me, because I've lost hope already, and when it came, I don't have a choice than to go. But that's not where I'm going to in this particular story. Where I'm going to is actually on my second visit to Turkey. Okay, but even though my first visit was actually a testimony as well, but this particular one was on my second visit, guys. Okay, I got my first resident permit in Turkey for the first time, which was for 1 year. So my first visit, I actually spent just 6 months in Turkey. Yeah, like 6 months plus or thereabout. So I came back to Nigeria to meet my kids, because resident permit, which was for 1 year, and the time is supposed to expire. I'm supposed to be back to Turkey before that my resident permit expires. So this is what Turkey resident permit looks like, guys. So this is what it looks like. Okay, it's going to be having your picture where I'm actually covering. Okay, and here your names and everything. So at the back here, it's going to have where when the resident permit was actually issued to you, when it's going to be expired, the province you reside in Turkey. So I was supposed to go back November 3. My resident permit that is supposed to expire November 3, and I'm supposed to have been back to Turkey before that particular date, before November 3. So yeah, I was actually packing. I intended to go back like that September, or probably early October. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't feel like leaving my kids again, or probably I don't want to miss them so much. So my flight ticket has already been booked, notice anyway. So that particular day, my mother-in-law is supposed to come over to our house to stay with the kids. That's a day before I travel. So it's my younger brother to go over to pick my mother-in-law for me with my own car, so that I'll be able to concentrate, since I'm doing the final round of my packing and everything. My brother has already come to pick the car, so on his way to pick my mother-in-law. In fact, he was already at the gate entrance, trying to cross over the road to the estate where my mother-in-law reside at that time. And lo and behold, the police just come out from nowhere, according to what my brother said. Come out from nowhere. That particular place is not somewhere police do hang out. I don't know how it happens. So he was actually caught and arrested. In fact, my car slept in police station till the next day. And guys, I was supposed to travel the next day, and he was supposed to be using the same car to drop me at the airport the next day. So everything just happened like I don't even understand. Guys, at the time when my brother called me, I still didn't feel anything. I still didn't see anything coming, because I felt like, how did you get caught and all that? So I was supposed to pick her myself, but I felt I just need somebody to pick her for me, since I'm doing my final round of packing and stuff. So anyway, so I had to call my mother-in-law, and an elderly person, to I could even think of getting an Uber instead of, I was still trying to wait for my car. Like, how would my car slept, in the police station? And of course, they need the car at home, and to do other things with my kids and everything. In case my mother-in-law want to go out, they want to do anything in the house, they need the car as well. I can't just allow car to be there. And in fact, even before that, I had to speak with the police, in charge of that case that night. I had to keep pleading and begging. In fact, I had to lie, I'm not the owner of the car. My mother-in-law also called that she's the owner of the car. They wanted to pick her for something. you know how police behave. They started, acting funny and everything. So it was a whole lot. And that next day as well, I was supposed to go to the airport, travel. And that particular day, by the time I get to the airport the next day, before I could remember to order a Uber to take me to the airport and all that, it was already getting out, like getting out of time. And flights now, you have your timing and everything. And as well, Lagos Road with their, with stress and hold up and everything. So before the Uber get to me, before I get to the airport, even though I get to the airport on time, but then before I get to the airport, the flight I'm supposed to travel with, I was told the counter, they've closed their counter. Ow. And that kind of scenario when you have to, when your flight was, you missed your flight and you have to start running helter-skelter at the airport, trying to fix things, trying to see if there's anything to be done. And at that point in time, you don't mind what, any solution that comes your way. Trust me, guys, I could not get any solution at that day. I went upstairs at the airport, I think at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, that's in Ikeja. So I had to run upstairs to make my complaints, asking about what time is my flight, where am I going to, and stuff like that. I couldn't get anything done. I had to, Uber that brought me has already left, and my family felt like they've dropped me at the airport, that that Uber or something, order another Uber or get another Uber at the airport there, and that just take me home. It was in the car I started calling them that this is what happened and all that. And again, another thing was that after missing my flight, that's for the first time. The second time again, so was trying to book another flight for me. And I told you guys in the beginning of this video that my resident permit was to expired on the 3rd of November. I was still, this time I was talking about is still October, that's early October. And I was trying to get, I had to call my husband as well, tell him what happened and all that. So he had to contact our traveling agency to book another flight for me, our flight ticketing and all that. So before they could get me another date, that was another wahala. Like, guys, I was so devastated. Like, was trying to get another date, get another day. No flight was actually going to Istanbul, the one they got for me. And at the same time, I was still checking on my my resident permit expiry time. And of course, I supposed to have been back to Turkey before that expiry, because it needs to be renewed. All the stress, all the money my husband spent and all that was just going into a waste. So at that point, a lot of things were actually going through my mind. I was so devastated. I think, in fact, before I could notice that something is actually going on, I had to call one of our family friend, who is also a spiritual person, who actually joined me in praying along with me. Even my kids were at this point, were so scared. I had to call my mom, these people had to join me in prayer. Guys, I had to embark on 3 days fasting, because at that point, I realized something is actually going on, like something is wrong, because everything was just happening. I had to embark on a 3 days fasting, crying up unto the Lord for, for a solution, because at that point I was actually scared. So at the end of the day, the traveling guy called me, I think, for the ticket, that he has already gotten a date for me. The date he was actually getting was too closer, and I was thinking of meeting up with my resident permit expiry to be renewed in Turkey. So at this point, I was so scared. I was very scared, because I was like, what if I get to Turkey and I was sent back to my home country? A lot of things were actually going through my mind. So later, the guy, our traveling guy, actually, he finally got a particular date for me, which I felt okay, that I had to move with this. I had to just keep praying before God intervened in that case, and he finally got a more reason, a particular date. I can't remember the date anymore. So I think as at 25th of October, I'm still in Nigeria, trying to get a date. And I think I left on the 28th. Yeah, 27, 28. That was the date they got for me. I just have to move like that. Guys, that kind of feeling, even when I get to Turkey, I was still scared while moving. They have to check your passport, check your residence permits and everything. So I was so scared that I'll be sent back. But trust me, guys, I actually got to safely and sound. And in fact, as soon as I got home, my husband was actually convinced already. I don't know how I was actually feeling. I was actually sweating from inside. Like, you know, that kind of thing that you are confused, you don't even know what to do. But at that point, God just came through, because it's not anything but just God. So that's why this video is just to encourage someone to keep trusting God for anything. And if God is yes to answer you, or to, you know, to grant your desire, He will surely do at His own time. Okay. So I get to Turkey safely. In fact, before I do anything, as I'm dropping my bag, my husband and I, we just, you know, I just went to the, you know, to the resident office, and it's one of unforgettable moments of my life that I will never forget. A lot of restriction in Turkey. There's no gathering, there's nothing, there's no church, there's nothing. So that's another thing entirely. So, which I'm going to be sharing in another video, but not on this particular video, because I don't want this particular video to be a long one. Anyway, guys, so that's just my story. I don't know if I'm good at telling story, but I hope you guys catch all the gist in this particular video. I hope this video inspires someone. I hope this video encourages someone to keep trusting God. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I really see you guys in my next one.